We've seen in the news the rage and contempt that the left has for white men that don't do what they're told. White men who don't obey their carefully crafted orders. White men that don't cower in fear when confronted. Allow me to explain their behavior for you, even those who are familiar with how irrational the left is at its core, who are stunned or taken aback by the insanity that was unleashed by a quiet smile. Why would a smile threaten them as intensely as it has? Did they detect some kind of evil in that smile that you don't see? Do they imagine something nefarious in those eyes? If this is what you think, you've got it backwards. It's not what they see in this face that scares them. It's what they don't see. They don't see shame. They don't see obedience. And when you've been successfully engineering a people to respond to your desires by controlling them with shame and guilt, the absence of that mechanism is terrifying. It's no different than if you've been systematically breaking a chained wild animal by cruelly torturing it just out of reach of its chain, inflicting more and more pain until you condition it to whimper in fear simply by raising your hand. That is what the left has done to certainly all of the white men in their lives, and with much success to the mainstream establishment right. They've been very successful in their war against white masculinity. After all, let's not lie about what toxic masculinity really means. It most certainly means white masculinity. It really doesn't take much to see this when their campaigns to feminize boys are clearly targeted at one demographic, and you never hear a peep about the evils of masculine people of color. Quite the contrary, it's celebrated. Because that's not their target. Their target, the chained animal that's been beaten so regularly and so badly that the response that the left expects, or rather demands from their victim, is complete Pavlovian submission. It's not that the left detected a hint of aggression in this boy's face. Had that been the case, the response would have been much more than threats of violence. No. What inspired so much fear was the absence of submission. At first they didn't quite understand, and this enraged the left. How dare he look them in the eye instead of staring at the ground, quaking with fear? Didn't he understand the pain they would soon unleash upon him? So the left, with their whip in their hand, raised their arm, ready to strike the chained, abused animal, and then that's when it happened. In a moment of panic, they realized the real reason he was smiling. He was smiling because his chain had broken. For Black Pilled, I'm Devin Stack.